Good morning, everyone. Today I am present before you with the podcast on a poem written by William Butler Yeats entitled The Tar. Before I begin the podcast, it is advisable that you keep a notebook and a pen so that you can jot down the important points relating to this particular topic. It is further advisable to use earplugs for better listening. So here I begin. Among Yeats's personal poems, The Tar is the most impressive and a significant poem. The poem expresses the honest statement of Yeats's frustration at the coming of old age. Therefore, old age is one of the themes of the poem. Another is the failure in love and the rejection of the abstract ideas which were presented by Pluto and Plotinus in favor of more concrete thoughts. The main motive of the poem is that the poet is getting older and weaker day by day, but his political and personal passions are getting stronger on the other hand. Now, I will be giving stanza-wise summary. Stanza 1. The poet is troubled and is greatly surprised at the paradox of absurdity that has been tied to the poet in the form of his decaying age. He compares his aging to a kind of mockery which looks odd to everyone, just the way when something is tied to a dog's tail. Stanza 2. The poet says that in spite of getting older, his imagination has never been so passionate, powerful, and so capable of thinking better things as well as expressing them in a better way. Section 2, Stanza 3. The poet, in a state of dilemma, keeps walking in quick short steps on the tar, and while he walks, he looks at the foundation of a house where a tree has come out from the earth, and it looks like a dark finger pointing towards the sky. The poet's imagination takes a flight as the day comes to an end. He calls forth the images and memories from the dilapidated conditions of the houses and from ancient trees. Stanza 4. The poet talks about Mrs. French, who used to live beyond a ridge. Then he narrates a devious incident that happened to her. While Mrs. French was serving wine and making merry, her dining table was lighted up by the silver candlesticks and stones. One of her servants thought that he could devise his lady's wish, so he went and clipped a poor farmer's ears with a garden shear and brought it to the lady covered in a dish. All this was carried out because the farmer thought he had committed an act of insolence. Stanza 5. The poet says that when he was young, there were still a few people alive who remembered a song that praised the beauty of a young peasant girl who dwelt somewhere among a rocky place. The poet believes that if the girl was still alive, the farmer would be overjoyed at the remembrance of the girl through the song. Stanza 6. The song had the power to excite people, influenced by the potent lines of the song, to such a level that some people would even rise up from the table where they had been drinking and check up whether the girl really existed or not. Stanza 7. The poet says the most interesting part is that the writer of the song was a blind man. On further consideration, it was not as that interesting because Homer was a blind poet too. Homer created the beautiful Helen who betrayed so many hearts. The poet wishes to have a proper balance between subjectivism and objectivism, or else his poetry would also drive his readers crazy as Homer's poetry about Helen and the blind man's poetry about the peasant girl did. Stanza 8. The poet is the creator of the figure Hanrahan. Hanrahan is a figure who moves in neighboring cottages, sometimes drunk and sometimes sober. The poet says he was able to see him in various situations. Some of the situation included old man's juggleries, stumbling, falling down and groping about here and there. Stanza 9. The poet narrates another story about some good fellows who were playing cards in an old barn. When it was the turn of the old juggler, he did something to the cards and changed them, except for one single card, into a pack of hounds. The single card was then turned into a hare. Seeing Hanrahan rose from that place and pursued the hounds to come to some destination. Stanza 10. The poet has forgotten where Hanrahan had taken the hounds to. He deviates from that incident and narrates another one. He talks about one man who was so troubled that he was not moved by music or love or the clipped ear of his enemy. He was bankrupt, and there was no one in his life even to tell when his dog days would end. So these were the 10 stanzas of the poem The Tar. In my next podcast, I will be delivering the podcast focusing on the rest of the stanzas of this long poem. For that, you have to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and in the comment section share your feedback. The content that I am delivering in this podcast is taken from a site about which the description box holds the information. Thank you for your valuable time. Here's wishing you a great day ahead.